Hi everyone, welcome back to Crow's Whisper Tarot. Today we're going to be looking at fixing what is stuck, what is not moving, and things that have not been going to plan, and thinking of a solution for what comes. Just keep in mind that with every reading, it's based on what you know your reality to be. If you feel like it doesn't match up, then maybe this reading isn't for you, or you just need to pick a different pile. So, that being said, thank you to all my new subscribers and thank you to all my old ones. Your support really means a lot to me. So, let's jump into the piles. Alright guys, here are the piles. We have pile 1 with the Labradorite, pile 2 with the Rainbow Moonstone, and pile 3 with the Obsidian. Take your time selecting your piles and we'll jump into the reading. Hello, pile 1. So, in terms of where you're stuck at the moment, it feels like with the Magician card here that you are stuck when it comes to your inspiration, your self-beliefs, your ability to see all the valuable parts of yourself, and you're feeling like you haven't been able to utilize those in life in general. You feel a bit isolated because of that, or you might feel like you haven't really found the tribe that you're looking for, so you end up feeling like things aren't going to plan. Generally speaking, it feels like you know you have the potential in you, but you just don't know how to get that part, out in the open and so that others can see it as well. And I think that's where you're struggling a little bit and you feel like life's stuck because of that. But let's get a few more details of what this energy is and what is coming for you guys. A few more details on pile 1's environment. So we have the Three of Wands reversed. We have the Ace of Cups. And we have the Queen of Wands, which is really, really good to see. So in order for you to expand on yourself and your abilities and be able to showcase them, all the talent that you have, similar to a magician, you need to find a way to focus more on the internal part of yourself. And it feels like you haven't done enough of a deep dive on yourself and your values, your aspirations, things like that. So that's part of why you're feeling stuck, because usually the Three of Wands indicates that you're willing to go out and showcase yourself and really put the effort into exploring, but that is the energy that's stuck at the moment. So I feel like this is coming more from an internal factor rather than external, and I feel like you have the right mindset with the Ace of Cups. You know what you want in a vague sense, but I feel like it's the details that really make the bigger picture happen. The image that's coming to mind is you can pull a rabbit out of a hat, but to do it with the level of finesse and I guess showmanship is part of it, and I feel like that aspect is a little bit lacking in terms of the amount of value that you put into your skills and how you sort of choose to showcase them. So it's just something to consider. The other example that I'm getting for you guys as well is, going out, with friends and being the one to initiate things rather than to let someone else lead, because they usually end up leading, rather than trying to explore yourself as best as possible, and be able to sort of do things out of the ordinary that you don't normally do. Doesn't mean that you're going to do it well, but at least you're doing it. And I think that's the vibe that I'm getting, is this almost fear of something holding you back in terms of how much you choose to explode into the open about who you are, what you bring. Again, that showmanship, part of that is confidence. And especially with the Queen of Wands here that has come out, it's more along the lines of being able to put yourself in a position where you are extremely confident, you know exactly what you want to bring. The Queen of Wands energy is just not caring what anyone else has to say, just doing what is comfortable for you, what is true to you, and what is most similar to your higher self is what I'm getting. And I feel like in terms of bringing this out of yourself, it might be beneficial for some of you to do more shadow work. So being able to delve more into your unconscious mind of things that trigger you, things that make you, things that you're shutting yourself down for whatever reason based on, something that happened previously. And it's one of those things where sometimes someone's words that they said once might just stick in your head unconsciously, and then you sort of act according to that. So it might be a good idea to sort of delve more into yourself and really analyze what is true to yourself and what's been sort of changed over time based on the opinions of others, because I feel like there is a level of isolation in terms of between you and your innermost self is what I'm getting. So it might be a really good idea, regardless of what you're stuck in life, but it's a really good idea to sort of delve into that, because you get to the crux of who you are, what you want to be, and things like that. So that would be really beneficial to you as well. So in addition to that, we've got a few oracle cards for you guys. So we have Arrow, you are on the right path regarding some aspect of your life. Always good to hear. So in terms of what your ambitions are, where you want to go in the future, you definitely have the right idea for yourself. And I think it's more, again, that execution that tends to be what makes it in this. We also have Caterpillar. Things will not always be this way. A change is coming. And again, I feel like you're very close to becoming what you want to be. But I think in order to shine, you have to remove certain layers of yourself and sort of analyze things from the inside, take time to internalize, similar to going into a cocoon, and then start to bloom into that butterfly that you really want to be. And I feel like that's where this sort of transformation has to happen, because over time, that's the only thing that can be the most beneficial for you. We also have Intuition. The red flags that you ignore now will come back to bite you later. So again, being able to analyze your mind, because intuition is essentially a gut feeling, and those gut feelings are also our subconsciousness. So being able to really tap into your subconscious, analyze it, being really good at identifying what works and what doesn't, what is most important to you, what is least important to you. It's really important. Again, importance. Keep saying that word. But the more you sort of delve into yourself, the more you'd be able to shine from the inside out, so to speak. Now, we also have an additional card called Dragon's Breath. So let me just read that passage for you guys. So Dragon's Breath is a fire element. Embrace the fiery spirit within as you navigate through challenges, for they hold the promise of significant transformation. Just rounds it out perfectly, doesn't it? With the Dragon's Breath, the affirmation is, I unleash my inner fire and revive my soul. I feel brave and powerful. Your spirit is on fire. You may just be coming to the end of a difficult period, so be ready to embrace the light and your newfound fiery spirit. The greater your recent challenges, the greater the reward. Be prepared for significant transformation. The dragon has immense alchemical power. Alchemy is the process of turning lead into gold. If you've been feeling heavy and weighed down, now is the time for you to shed the load and shine. Like you, gold is rare. You radiate power and energy and can attract great things into your life when you show others your true magnetic personality. And funnily enough, that's exactly what the Queen of Wands is someone who is fiery, is passionate, but is also having a very good self-confidence, has strong self-beliefs, knows exactly what they want and how they're going to get it. It is partially ambition-driven, but it's also part of letting your true self shine, letting you be the best possible version of yourself, and reminding yourself that you are powerful and you have things to offer, and you have to put those into consideration first and use that to make you succeed. So that was your reading, Pile 1. Hope you enjoyed it. Please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Hello, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading. In terms of where you're stuck at the moment, it feels like with the moon card that you're not seeing the path ahead very clearly. It feels like things are sort of fogged up. You don't have a clear vision of what's going on. And I feel like internally you really know where you want to go, your ambitions, things like that. But I feel like the path ahead in terms of how you get there is the most confusing at the moment. And we also have the Six of Wands reversed. So you feel like, in a sense, that you're not achieving what you want to achieve. You feel like success is sort of put on the back burner or is not really clear cut at this stage. And that's causing a lot of anxiety for you, I feel, because if you know where you want to go, but you don't know if you're on the right path or not. And to answer that, it does feel like you're on the right path, but there's a few bits and pieces that we'll get into later in terms of how you can sort of achieve what you want, but know that you are on the right path. It just doesn't come out in life the way you want it to. So there's a few bits and pieces that need to be rejigged, but let's have a look at that. What needs to change for pile 2? Quite a few cards. So we have the Star card reversed, the Two of Pentacles reversed, the Five of Swords, the Four of Swords, and the Knight of Cups. And the reason things aren't working is because you're trying to use the most traditional route to get to where you want to go. And for you, I feel like this group in particular, it doesn't feel like that is what is meant for you. You're meant to go through a harder pathway. It's not meant to be easy. It's not meant to be comfortable. It's meant to be where you are fighting for what you want. It's going to be an untreaded path, an unpaved path where you're going to get battered and bruised by the end of it. But the reward that you get out of it is much better. But if you take the easier route, the more traditional route, the route that has always been done and can be seen done on a regular basis, that's not going to be something that works for you in terms of getting you where you want to be. Because what you are missing out on is a lot of those points in time where you can build resilience or build certain skills and, analyze things in a different way. You can only do that if you travel the harder path. If things were sort of clear cut, easy, there won't be as much growth as what is meant to be. And I feel like part of this is a lot of the higher powers plan for you guys is what I'm getting. But it does feel like by the end of it, you're going to be in a very comfortable place in terms of mentally, spiritually, physically. With all of this, it feels like the end of the journey is going to be a lot more rewarding compared to what has already been. And just know that whatever path is ahead in terms of what you're doing, I feel like in this pile, you guys tend to be a little too realistic in terms of the realistic expectations of what would happen or what is meant to happen and that sort of thing. But the truth is, with this entire group, is you're not meant to have a traditional life in the sense of what you do won't be like, graduate high school, get into uni, graduate uni on time, get a job on time. It's going to be a lot of other factors that are put in place to really challenge you. And that can be in terms of family, friends, workplace, life in general. Nothing's going to be easy. And there's always going to be a series of challenges that you have to face in order to get to the good times. So if you are feeling stuck, know that things are going to plan. It's just not the plan that you sort of think of when you imagine it. So, being at a certain age, hitting a certain milestone, that's not going to be this group. It's going to be at the right point in time that is meant for you. And to get to that right point in time, there's a series of challenges, or for some of you, even like karmic sacrifices that you have to do in order to get to where you want to be. And I feel like that's something that you guys may have sensed already with the way things have been going, but overall it does feel like this group in particular needs that push. And so that's what Spirit's doing, is they're helping you from the background, but not necessarily in the way that you want. So they are giving you that push that you need to get into different challenges, being able to access different resources, build character in a way that is more difficult, more complex, but not quite the way you expect it to. And that sort of resilience building and character building that they sort of make you over time is what makes it the most rewarding. Another example that I'm getting is if you work, let's say, in the retail or food industry, customers are varying in terms of temperament, so you will undoubtedly get someone who gets on your nerves or yells at you, etc. And because of that character building, the ability to, you know, control your temperament or speak your mind or communicate in a certain way, that is what is building over time. So that mental resilience and physical resilience to things that happen, and I think that's what they're building up on. So yes, you are not getting success at this point in time because there's still a series of things that needs to happen before you can reach that milestone. And we also have they'll be back, expect to hear from them soon. So whoever it is that you want to hear back from, in whatever case, that will happen. In addition to that, this card usually refers to being in a point in time where you can really embrace the changes and just trust that something will happen when it's meant to happen. So receiving something when it's meant to happen. You can't control the postal system, you can't speed it up, you can't slow it down. So it's just when it's meant to be, it will show up. And that's the way you have to think of this entire process, is it's not necessarily in your hands. The best you can do is go through the series of events in order to get to the result. So we have Quill, get back to the basics. For some of you guys, that is what you are meant to do. So that could be a varying number of things, but thinking from scratch, being able to build back the pathway a different way. So, you know, you've tried one method, go back to scratch, try a different method. We also have Tortoise, slowly but surely getting ahead. And then that is the energy that we definitely were feeling as well. But yes, things will happen. Again, it's not the speed that you want it to happen. So you just have to hold on tight and be there for the journey. And we also have this card, which is Crow's Feet. And I'll read you the passage for that one once I find it. And there we go. So Crow's Feet is based on Mercury element, so again, communication and knowledge. Embrace transformation, trust your intelligence, and beware of deceptive influences. The affirmation that you guys need is, I am intelligent and clever and can adapt to any situation. I have the power and insight to transform my life. You have within yourself You have it within yourself to transform your life. Like a crow, you are intelligent, clever, and insightful. Use that ability to look inside yourself and find what you might have lost or is missing from your life. You can adapt to any situation. You have the power to make your life fulfilling if you use what you have to your advantage. To help see things clearly, try a visualization. Concentrate on breathing in and out slowly and deeply. Once your next breath is out, visualize yourself uncorking the stopper on your potion to release the contents. As you breathe, inhale the potion's essence. Imagine the vapor entwining itself around your senses, taking the form of a crow, weaving itself around you, its wings fluttering and gently guiding you. You emerge and transform with the crow gliding and soaring off into the sky. You are carefree. Take in the bird's eye view of your life as it is before you. So again, part of that is perspective taking, being able to see things outside what has been done and see the bigger picture of things. And I think there is a portion of you who have always sort of strive the same path because that's all you can see, but try and see as many potentials, as many pathways for yourself and your future as you can. Trying to box yourself in is not going to help you in the situation at all. So just try and be as different, as comfortable with the unknown, the ability to experiment. If you get an offer for something or someone asks you to do something that you don't normally do, don't immediately refuse, because in doing so, you are then cutting off potential for you to, gain more, embrace more. And so try not to put any barriers for yourself. Doesn't mean that you accept everything, but try to have an open mind when it comes to things in front of you, and try and be a bit more relaxed and carefree in your method of doing things. It does feel that this group potentially really likes control. It's time to let go of that to some extent and be able to experiment a bit more. I think that's probably the most important for this group. So that was your reading, pile 2. Hope you enjoyed it. Please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Welcome, pile 3, to your reading. In terms of where life has made you quite stuck, we have the Page of Cups, and we also have the 9 of Wands. I feel like there's an element of impatience with this group in terms of where you want to go and the speed in which you want things to continue. Again, that energy of being stuck, but more so in the sense of things not going to plan or things taking longer than it should. And the reality is, it's not meant to be your time to get things moving. It feels like at this point in time, there is going to be a stagnancy. There is going to be things that don't move the way you want it to. With the 9 of Wands, there's an element of resilience, but at the same time, there's only so much you can push when things aren't moving. So you guys have the right mindset in terms of where you want to go, what you want to do, but the reality is it's not going to be at the speed in which you want it. It's going to take a little bit longer than what you would expect, and that is why it has taken its time. Now, it doesn't mean that you have done anything necessarily wrong to make it slower. It just means that things have not worked out necessarily the way you wanted it to, because it was not meant to be that way. It has to take a little bit longer. So let's have a few other details of how we can overcome this. So we have the 9 of Swords reversed, the 8 of Pentacles, the Emperor, the Page of Wands, and the 4 of Wands. So success is definitely coming to you guys. Don't get me wrong on that. You definitely have a lot of ambition and experience gaining what you want, especially with the Page of Cups. You have the resources for you. You have every ability to experiment and do what you need to do to get to where you want to be. But I feel like it's almost because you're a workaholic, especially with the 8 of Pentacles here, definitely workaholic energy. I feel like you guys, once something's stuck in your mind, you just go for it, and that's great. It really is. But when you are pushing so hard for things to happen, the amount of disappointment that results from that experience is not going to be something that makes you feel good. It's going to make you have more confusion about the situation, a lot more anxiety for what is to come, and that shouldn't be the case, because it's almost guaranteed that you guys are going to succeed, because we have the 4 of Wands, the Emperor, and the Page of Wands. Exploration, being the boss at what you do, being able to control the situation and celebrate at the end, that is all on the cards for you. But I feel like the anxiety of things needing to be at a certain pace, or your idea of what is meant to happen, is almost blocking where you go and the speed you go at. If you simply let go, if you simply allow things to expand on their own, be able to go about your day without sort of over analyzing things, especially if you find that you're seeing a lot of signs, you know, a varying amount of signs, or if you really like angel numbers or things like that, try not to hyper focus on those, because I feel like over time that just ends up creating more anxiety and more difficulty for you, because you're focused on things to happen at a certain pace. It can even be like hearing back from someone. If they don't respond within a certain time frame, that's creating a lot of anxiety for you. Try to keep in mind that it will come at a time that is perfect for you. And this was similar to group 2 as well. But you can't control timing, because there is a certain level of, I guess, benefit to it coming at the right time. Because rushing a process is never going to result in something that is of quality. So you want to make sure that you're allowing for that time for things to build up and for you to get that quality. And we have open your heart. It will help to attract more love. And again, it will help to attract more than what you think. So trying to put more constraints on a situation is not going to benefit you in the long term. You need to be able to allow for things to happen naturally without sort of causing too much strain on you and not being in a time frame that is going to impact you negatively. You want to be as open to what is to come as possible. And I feel like for some of you, it's also that you sort of are a control freak by nature, or at least you like to control certain elements in your life. Myself, I'm sort of like that, because I'm always, if you tell me to meet up at a certain time, I will be there on the dot. It's one of those things that you sort of is ingrained in you. But the ability to have more patience and let things go and let things be is really significant, because it allows things to bloom a lot better and for things to flow a lot easier. And you putting more sort of breaks in between is actually going to build up more anxiety within yourself that things aren't going to plan, when in fact you're just too impatient to let the plan take place. And we also have crib, birth or conception of a child or enterprise. So whatever it is that you are working on will come to pass. Again, things take time. It's almost like it does feel like with this group, you are very close to your goal, like within the next few weeks, definitely within the next few weeks, you are very close to your goal. But the ability to simply let things be and let things happen naturally and not try and speed things up, because that's not going to be very useful. Just keep that in mind. Things won't happen overnight. Things will take time to build. So even if you have been working on this for months or years, even if it takes a few extra months, it's not going to be the end of the world, okay? So try and keep calm with what is to come. And we have December as well. Now this can be a time period where things come to fruition for you guys. It can also be a time period where you are on the right track. It just depends on when you're watching this, but overall it feels like it does take time. So currently when I'm filming this, it is May, so consider it another 6 to 7 months before things really take off for you guys. We also have Storm in a Bottle, and I'll just read a passage from that because it is quite significant. And all the groups have had these readings being almost perfect, which is for me a bit crazy. So, Storm in a Bottle. Embrace the eye of the storm and be ready to come out the other side with the elements water and air. The affirmation is, I am thankful for my loved ones and I can calm the stormy chaos inside me. Again, chaos, being impatient, being able to endure that 9 of Swords energy, be able to get out the other side with success. So, Life can be stormy and you feel yourself feeling turbulent and more than a little chaotic. You may be feeling mystified by the direction of your life your life is taking and not thinking clearly. Dive deep down into the whirlpool that is your thoughts and find a sense of order and inner clarity. Take a few minutes each day to meditate, take a deep, steadying breath, and let all those tempestuous thoughts settle to a quiet breeze within your mind. Again, Nine of Swords energy. Let's see. With each exhale, let go of the chaos that rules your mind until all feels calm again. Ultimately, be patient and ride out the storm. Your path will become apparent with time. You just need to trust you will weather the storm. Do not let the confusion consume you and spiral you into negative thought patterns. Lack of clear thinking can lead to poor choices. Remember that stormy times can bring people together. Look to others for camaraderie and support. Take its time. Know who your friends are. Those are the passages. So definitely aligns very accurately with this group, which has been the case for all the other groups as well, which is really fun. But just know that you are in fact on the right path. But to get there, you definitely need to settle things down, let things be. Don't try and force things to happen when they're not meant to, because it's definitely not going to benefit you in the end. You just need to let things happen the way they're meant to, and let things, bring you success in the time that you need. You don't need to force things to happen, but just know, I would say for majority of you, within the next 6 months at least, or even the next few weeks, things are going to happen. You just need to let things breathe for a bit and you will be exactly where you're meant to be at the right time. So that was your reading, pile 3. Hope you enjoyed it. Please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.